The man who walked with God, a mysterious biblical legend. Long ago, in the first pages of the Old Testament, in a mysterious, primitive world, a prominent figure named Enoch appeared. He was the son of Jared, a descendant of Adam and Eve, but Enoch was more than just a historical figure. He was a profound symbol of faith, trust, and spiritual connection with the Almighty in Christian theology. From an early age, Enoch displayed an unwavering faith in God, and this devotion made him a living model of the Christian faith. In the biblical stories, it is said that Enoch not only believed, but actually walked with God. Day after day, each dawn saw Enoch climbing high mountains to pray and commune with the divine. These mountains were his most sacred places, where he felt the presence of God as a close companion, a father figure who watched over him and gave him endless spiritual strength. This story has become deeply embedded in theology as a living example of faith and belief, reminding us that God is always present. Generations have passed down stories about Enoch, describing him as a peaceful and happy man. To his people, Enoch was a living biblical figure and a spiritual leader in the community. When someone faced hardship or despair, he was the first to comfort them, helping them overcome their trials, embodying the eternal life he had attained through faith. Many believed that he could hear the whispers of nature and see things that were invisible to the naked eye, a phenomenon that later scholars of religious studies and theology would admire and strive to understand. At the age of 365, an unimaginable age even at that time, Enoch suddenly disappeared. The story goes that he did not die like others. Instead, God took him away. Like Elijah and Moses, Enoch was believed to have reached a state of spiritual maturity. His story became a biblical mystery and a testament to the power of the Christian faith. Many believed that he had transcended the limits of mortality, being taken to heaven without experiencing death, joining the legendary group of immortals. Enoch remains a mysterious figure in the Bible, a prime example of a strong belief in eternal life, and an integral part of the spiritual journey we call Christianity. In his journey, he exemplified the teachings of the Bible and his close relationship with God, and is forever remembered as a friend of the Almighty. Elijah, the prophet of fire and wind. As the ages have passed, as humanity has continued to sink into darkness and chaos, a remarkable figure has emerged to illuminate the faith and challenge the beliefs of an entire nation. It was Elijah, a prophet in Christian theology, chosen during a time of great turmoil. Unlike Enoch, Elijah was not only blessed, but also a warrior facing powerful dark forces. At that time, his country was caught up in idolatry, with false prophets and Baal worship leading the people astray. With a firm faith in God and a deep love for the teachings of the Bible, Elijah stood up, not only to fight, but also to liberate souls imprisoned in the darkness of superstition. With long silver hair and eyes that sparkled with the wisdom of a man who had seen much suffering, Elijah became a living symbol of the Christian faith and the quest for eternal life. In one of the greatest challenges of his time, Elijah faced off against false prophets on Mount Carmel in a battle where he claimed the power of God. Through a powerful prayer, he called down fire from heaven, burning everything down and terrifying his enemies with the undeniable power of his faith. Yet, Elijah's heart was still heavy. The great mission and countless spiritual battles he had fought seemed to weigh heavily on his soul. In a moment of prayer, Elijah asked God to give him rest, believing that he had completed his assigned task. But God had other plans. One fateful day, as he was walking with his faithful disciple Elisha, a sudden strong wind blew, and a chariot of fire descended from the sky. In the blink of an eye, before Elisha's astonished eyes, Elijah was lifted up by the whirlwind and disappeared. Elijah did not simply leave. He was taken by God, leaving behind a legendary story in the Old Testament about an immortal prophet who brought light to the mysteries of the Bible through faith and belief in a power beyond human understanding. Through this story, the Bible not only tells of immortals like Elijah and Enoch, but also reminds us of the power of faith in our journey toward eternal life. The mystery of Enoch and Elijah in the Bible, immortals and their eternal journey. In religious and theological studies, the story of two biblical figures, Enoch and Elijah, has always aroused curiosity. According to the Old Testament, Enoch and Elijah were granted eternal life because of their unwavering faith and loyalty to God. However, a profound question remains. Why only they? And if they did achieve immortality, where are they? Many scholars in the field of religious studies believe that the story of Enoch and Elijah is a prophetic symbol representing the eternal life promised to those who live fully according to the teachings of the Bible. Their presence in Christian spirituality is seen as a reminder of heaven and the deliverance of the soul from earthly suffering. Some believe that Enoch and Elijah may still be alive and will return when humanity faces its final crisis. From another perspective, many believe that Enoch and Elijah may have been performing their duties as guardians of the divine realm, guides to the souls of those who follow God and the values of both the Old and New Testaments. The stories in the Bible, from Adam and Eve to Moses and Jesus, emphasize the Christian faith, a spiritual strength for those in trouble, seeking peace. Whenever people of faith face challenges, they still look to Enoch and Elijah as symbols of protection and faith in eternal life. In the mystical world of the Bible, these immortals are not just legends, but symbols of the enduring bond between humans and the divine, a bond strengthened by Christian faith and reverence for God. The journey and immortal legacy in religion. In every age, the legacy of Enoch and Elijah lives on through the stories of the Bible, especially in religious studies and theology. Their stories have inspired countless generations, encouraging them to believe in miracles, live with faith and devotion, and uphold the noble values established by God. Enoch, known in the Bible as the man who walked with God, is more than just a biblical character. He embodies a deep connection with God, demonstrating the possibility of achieving eternal life without suffering death. His journey is a powerful reminder that human life can reach its highest point when unwavering faith in God prevails. Elijah, lifted up to heaven on a chariot of fire, symbolizes victory through unwavering faith. This image, which has theological significance, represents strength and loyalty, reminding us that courage and steadfastness in God are the keys to overcoming the greatest challenges. Elijah's story is a key part of the teachings of the Bible, guiding believers on the path of righteousness. Will they return? Many believe that Enoch and Elijah will return at the end of the world, becoming protectors of humanity in its darkest hour. Religious and theologian scholars have pondered this possibility, envisioning these biblical figures standing firm amid the chaos of the world, facing the darkness to bring hope. The teachings of the Bible show us that Enoch brought a message of peace and connection with God, while Elijah embodied courage and justice. If that day comes, their presence will inspire faith in goodness, reviving the Christian faith in the midst of prophetic visions of the end of the world. Their story will not only be an ancient legend, but also a living testimony to the Christian faith, the hope of eternal life, and the best in every human being. Surely they will forever live in the heart of the Bible's spirit and history as immortal figures in the teachings of God, from the Old Testament to the New Testament, and forever as icons in Christianity.